Let us see. Hello. I have tested the sound twice. It's still a little bit echoey, but I'm hoping I didn't pick up any... Oh, hello. Maybe we should have some video too. I didn't pick up any, what's it called, feedback on the microphone, although I tested it twice, so fingers crossed that we are avoiding it today. But welcome everyone. It's nice to be here, see you again. It feels like it's been a while, but we have tried to be here on occasion. But there's been a lot of missed days. How are you? How is everyone doing? All right. I hope this will be all right by next time. I think we hopefully will be a lot less echoey because we will have set up the furniture. It arrived today. I've been trying to put together some of it, but it takes longer than one would think. We tried for as long as we could to find things secondhand online from the secondhand shops, but in the end we just had to get the office, the workroom up and running, so we had to buy some pieces new. But we're trying to sort of argue that, yeah, but at least we're going to use it for a long time. They're going to stay here, they're going to be well treated, and if we move, when we move one day, hopefully not any days soon, it shall be something that we bring with us and reuse. Happy Tuesday from Finland. I was thinking it was Thursday, and I got my days wrong, but they are very easy to mix up, those days. Morning, evening, all indeed. Morning, evening, everyone. And hopefully I'm a little less echoey and feedbacky today, and hopefully it'll be even better next time. I can still hear a bit of echo. I hope it's better for you all. We are doing our best. How are the cats finding their new abode? Oh, they are loving it. We are purposefully designing, you know, downstairs we have a sort of shorter thing for the television where the cats can jump up, and then a taller wardrobe right next to it, and then on top of there, right under the ceiling, spouse put a basket with a blanket inside, a wool blanket, and they are loving it so much. We also got gifted an enormous cat tree by someone for free, which is also reaching almost all the way into the seedling, so they both have opportunities to be really tall and looking down at the world and everything, which is super, super interesting. They are enjoying it a lot. And they're running up and down the stairs. We got some carpet in the stairs for increased safety because they are very, they turn all the time. They're very narrow stairs, or like they are like circular and they go in a fan. And I find them very easy to slip in, so we started adding carpets, and we're also going to add, what's the word? Handrails on the side. So yeah, it's getting better, and the cats really enjoy that. Cats really enjoy carpet. A hurricane in Florida. Worst will be near me in about 8 hours. Oh no. Oof. I hope you are staying as safe as you can. I mean, it always sounds so terrifying when the US gets a lot of hurricanes. They look so violent. So I'm hoping you'll stay safe. Hoping you'll stay as safe as you can, Susan. It's yeah. Hoping you get a little bit of a respite. Despite that sounds very, very scary. So yeah, stay safe. And I hope you will be alright. I'm gonna do something easy here. Just close off this pattern. Yeah, hurricane seems terrifying. I have never experienced one, and I'm not sure I feel the need to put that on my bucket list. But I hope everyone is staying. Madam, what have you been doing? This is not correct. 1, 2, 3. But yeah, I hope everyone is staying as safe as they are able to. I know that can be a bit ambiguous depending on where in the world you are, but whatever weather comes your way, I hope you stay reasonably safe for it. And are people working on stuff? Yes, his spouse finished this wall. Isn't it gorgeous? I know the lighting is still not perfect, like it probably looks a bit gray on camera. But it's actually 3 shades of green, and spouse has been doing it in like a gradient from dark to light, and it's so cool. It saves me having to like decorate the walls. We still have this wall left to do where I've done a very rudimentary gradient, and then spouse has to add the finishing touches because I'm not very skilled at that. But yeah, I'm hoping this will be a nice backdrop for videos. Since I'm not very good at putting things on the wall and decorating my space. Cheat where we can. Gothenburg Book Fair, and I hope they have some crafty books there. Have you ever been? I have never been to the book fair in Gothenburg, but I have been to Gothenburg as recently as last year. I think it's a lovely, lovely city. It's such a cozy city. We went to Göteborgs Renfabrik last year, and it was an amazing museum. I wanted to take so much footage. It was so cool. It's have you been? I don't know. It's a museum that specializes in, they also weave like tablecloths and towels for souvenirs for guests to pick up, but it started as wide, strong drive bands for sort of pre-electricity being as common as it is now. They had this kind of, you would have a furnace in the basement and it would create energy, and you would send that energy up to the rest of the factory by the energy of drive bands. So you would have one main drive band, and then that would sort of have a big pole in the ceiling, I'm not explaining it very well, where you would have smaller drive bands, and they would transfer energy to the various factory machines, and they still had the machines set up like that. They have to run on electricity now though for health and safety reasons, and for the machines' safety, like for them being now old antiques. But so their factory started out making those, and it ran into the 70s, and we got almost a personal guided tour because it was there was almost no one there. It was one other lady joined us mid-tour, so we got almost a private tour just because it was a very quiet end of the season. And they had also accepted a couple of lace making machine, bobbin lace making machine. I have some footage of it that is just amazing, where you just see the bobbins running around making machine-made bobbin lace, and they sort of just started adopting these kinds of machines so they don't get sent to the landfill because they're so cool. And so that was Göteborgs Renfabrik. It means like drive band. I would also think like, shoulder strap type thing is sort of my association, but that was such an amazing museum. We had such a good time. Oh, you walked by the Renfabrik but not been inside. I can really recommend doing one of the guided tours. I think it could be a bit confusing if you don't get a guided tour because, the machines are kind of just standing there. But if you look at when they do guided tours, they also turn the machines on so you can see them working. And oh, it was so much textile history in one building. It was amazing. We didn't know what to expect, but oh my goodness, it's a big recommendation. It was a really cool museum if you have a history, textile history interest. It was so cool. The fires and earthquakes are even more scary to me. Oh, terrifying stuff all over the place. Everyone has something. Yeah, that is very true. So I just hope everyone stays safe. That is the biggest, well, as safe as you can, really. Cleaning my bit in my room, so no sewing project today. Oh, that is still very nice. It's nice to have a clean space to work within. Somehow it seems to be split between people either doing crafting or nothing at all, or cleaning. That seems to be a fairly recurring thing, which I like. I also like to use live streams and podcasts to keep me company while I do tasks that I'm not necessarily feeling up for, but I do it anyway. I know there's a lot of really old industry in Gothenburg, so you kind of just get used to them and don't really see them. Oh, that is a problem no matter where you live, isn't it? You get used to all the touristy things and you never actually go see the touristy things. Like, we have an enormous, really big cathedral now that we're back in Trondheim. That is really gorgeous architecture. And a lot of people just walk by it on their way to work and think nothing of it. But I mean, stop and look at it. There's so much history everywhere. Kelly says we did have a hurricane last year. Oh no. It's terrifying. Stay safe, everyone. I know there's one for rope production too in Newell outside of Gothenburg. The house is super long, made for spinning the rope. Oh, I need to go check that out. That is so cool. One of the guides also recommended us check out, I think it was the Huskvarna Museum, but that was like an hour drive outside of Gothenburg. But they also said that one was a really good one for textile history. So I kind of want to put that in my bucket list for checking it out. I know we have some machine knitting museums in Norway that I also want to check out, but they're a bit out of my way at the moment. But oh yeah. On the topic, what kind of natural disasters do we have near you? We don't have a lot of disasters, as in uncontrollable ones. We are very fortunate in that our hurricanes and earthquakes and things are really rare because we're not really on those tectonic plates. You can have small earthquakes, but we have more, blizzards, you have freezing rain, so it's mostly winter things, although there have been some droughts in summer more recently, but it's mostly winter related, sudden winter, people being surprised by the weather. And I mean, tragically, like old people getting outside of their care home and getting lost and getting found in the snow the next day. but it's a lot of blizzard related, especially near the coast. It can be really strong winds. It's not hurricanes, but it's, you know, really strong winds coming off the north coast, and the North Sea that can be really devastating. You know, it can take with them, you know, roofs and trees and all sorts of things. That is fairly common, that you can have really, really windy storms. People working on the sea are having a really risky job. But it's the cold mostly that can be dangerous where we are, that it can be sudden and surprising. And freezing rain, if you've never heard of it, freezing rain is undercooled rain. So the rain starts out, it doesn't have, so there's nothing for the, sometimes you can have a liquid that is cooled below the freezing point because it doesn't have a nucleus to start the crystallization process. And so you get these drops of rain that haven't turned into snow, but it's below the freezing point. And as soon as it hits anything, a piece of dust, the ground, an animal, wild animal outside, it turns to ice instantly. It's terrifying, and the roads get so slippery like you wouldn't believe. It's insane. It doesn't happen like every year, but it's insane when it happens. It's really dangerous. People don't understand how dangerous it is. But you know, you get the black ice, the kind that is super, super slippery. But mostly it's the cold that people, if they aren't prepared or they don't have the means or the ability to get proper winter clothing, that can be really dangerous for people. I think that is that and the winds can be like, they do have some lightning, but it's rare that it actually kills anyone, because most people have now houses that are more grounded than they used to be. We also don't have a fire ecology, so if there are forest fires, they're not normal, and usually the fire people get them under control, even if they can be a bit scary. It's true, you get used to it. I grew up in Visby. Oh, you did? Oh my goodness. And to me it was normal to have buildings more than 1,000 years old. And ancient churches everywhere. Oh my goodness. I mean, Visby is iconic. I want to go. I haven't been to Visby, but I want to go. We sometimes have quick mud and landslide, both in Norway and Sweden, but it's rare that happens. That is true. We do have landslides, and we actually live in a landslide-prone region. Trondheim is, you know, there's a lot of blue clay in the soil, so there is always the risk of landslide. Oh, that's a good point. We did have a landslide just a few years ago, a little bit northeast of Trondheim, that actually I think killed 2 people. I might be misremembering. But landslides do happen too, but we do have an excellent NGU, it's Norway's Geological Survey, that have mapped out most of Norway for both radon, you know, the element that is radioactive, and landslides. And you can see those maps for free online, so you can check if the place you're moving to is high risk or medium risk for landslides and that kind of thing, and if you should be monitoring your basement for radioactivity. I would love to live somewhere medieval. Oh yeah, I would love to just go to Visby one year. I still haven't gone for the medieval week, but I hear so many great things about it from people who have gone, from friends who have gone, and yeah, I really want to go one year. It would be so amazing. Snowstorms terrify me. I don't do well with cold. Yeah, it really depends on what you're used to. I really don't do well with heat at all, but I'm a little bit more used to the cold. But it can still be dangerous. I had a friend whose spouse would always comment that they moved to Florida because they didn't have to shovel sunshine. Having come from a place where you have to shovel your driveway all winter. Ah, you finished making a mitten. Max, that sounds really nice. It's always something new working on it. Let's see. remember biking to my job in winter blizzard, and I had a scarf around my face, but the fibers in my scarf froze against my mouth from my breath. That's when I decided not biking in this. Yeah, I can understand that. I have done that too, and it is okay with an electric bike because it kind of does the work for you, but it can get really cold. I was glad my commute was only like 10-15 minutes on the bike, because in midwinter it can be a bit much. Plus the ice is terrifying. Bikes are so wobbly. It's so easy to slip and fall. I do not like, especially in winter, if I don't have like a lane, pedestrian lane or somewhere where I can stay away from the cars, because I don't want to challenge any cars when it's slippery. I'm not shoveling anymore is why both sets of my grandparents moved to Southern California. Yeah, you see, that's a lot of, I can see that. It's a big landslide on the Isle of Wight just before Christmas, and my friends were evacuated. Their garden disappeared and the house sat on an edge. There's still an emergency accommodation. Oh, I'm sorry, that sounds not very nice. That is terrifying. We had a whole, it would be wrong to say village, but I think it's more like a suburb. Norway don't do suburb the way other countries do, but like a small section of close to a city that slid out because of some mistakes made during the development of the area. And that was terrifying. That was a lot of people evacuated. So landslides are definitely a threat, and they can happen so suddenly. They're so fast. So I guess in terms of things that are not predictable, landslides would be up top on that list on things that definitely are in at least parts of the ecology in Norway. We also have, again, in ecologies, areas that are not prone to landslides, you have mountains instead, and then you can get avalanches. And avalanches routinely kill people every year. It's really, it can be really scary. Even really experienced hikers and climbers can be taken unawares. And we have accidents involving tourists a lot of the time because, you know, they've dreamt of going to Norway all their life, and then they go and the locals are telling them that they shouldn't go in the mountains because there's a really high avalanche risk, but it's their dream tour and they have all this stuff planned out, so they really, really want to go, and so they go anyway, and then bad things happen. Same with hiking. You also have people who come unprepared for really challenging hikes in, you know, sneakers and jeans, no wind jacket and no food, no water. And then we have a lot of volunteers who have to go search and rescue all summer in the most popular hiking destinations because they just get lost and they get tired and they don't realize how long the hikes are. They've actually started taking down the signs and the paths were some of the worst ones because the rescuers are just exhausted from saving people who get lost and get stuck. And we are about to have ads in a moment, so let's have a hydration break. I have an iced matcha this evening. And don't worry, we pause ads on this channel, so we just chill out for a moment. Alright, what am I working on? I always forget to show you guys what I'm working on, don't I? That's not really very good. Very good live streamer, entertainer, whatever, content creator of me. I'm working on a As You Like It shawl, which is, I'm following my own pattern from the black one that is on the channel, if you've seen that, except as soon as I finished the black one and sent it off to the friend who was receiving it, I started a new one in white because I had a lot of fun with the pattern and it was a nice project that I could just pick up and put down at will because the pattern is fairly easy. So I have, you know, my little gradient of different patterns running around. I'm getting, I feel like I have done enough of these little diamonds now, so I'm stopping that. I'm sort of grading that one out and then we will figure out what to do next eventually. I like these kind of loosey-goosey make it up as you go along patterns because they work really well when I'm tired and I don't want something that is, high stakes, I guess is the word. You knitted an as you like it shawl with diamonds only. Oh, Alison, that's amazing. Oh, I would love to see if people make the things I made. Are you in our Discord? You are welcome there, Oh, that's amazing. I hope it keeps you very nice and warm in winter. That's really, really cool. Yeah, I've been seeing, I know one person at least have knitted a, the leaf sweater that I made and then made a very bad pattern of. And I know another person in our Discord is currently making it, so we have at least like 2 of them. And now I know that someone has made the As You Like It shawl. That makes me so happy. I love seeing these projects in the wild of what you make with the things that I, create and share and show you. That it makes me so happy. I've heard so many good things about Medieval Week in Visby. Oh yeah, me too. But I haven't been, but I did visit as a child. I don't remember much, but the walls, city walls and all the poppies. Oh my god, that's amazing. Yeah, I have friends who go every other year because we have the Bodø Viking market. That is the biggest Viking market in Scandinavia that happens at the same time. But that one is only every other year. Like the Bodø Viking market is only every even years with even numbers, so 2024, 2022, 2020. So they will alternate and they will do Visby one year and then the Viking market and then Visby and the Viking market. And oh, I want to join one year. I've been really considering it. It looks so much fun. Always struggled to imagine how the ancient wall would protect against anything, but then I learned that it is 2 meters underground and had sunk. Wow, that would change your perspective, wouldn't it? That is really cool. I would not know that, but I guess I would think about that if I went now. I really want to go one day. I hear so many good things about it. It is a really, if you aren't aware of it, it's a really big medieval, I wouldn't even call it a market, it's like an event. As far as I've been told, like the whole area gets into it, the restaurants are in on it, the locals, the guests, and they have a ring wall, and there's so much preserved history there from medieval times, so you really get into the vibe of it, and it's just, yeah, it looks amazing. It will be so much fun to go one year and maybe even snap a little bit of footage so I could share it with you as well. That would be really fun. Probably be as long as the one I did for Bodø, to be honest, like a little 5-minute snippet, because you get so into the vibe of things that films don't really fit, and you feel kind of awkward taking footage because it doesn't really feel like cell phones belong. You just want to be in the moment with your friends, looking at the crafters, making food, crafting things, having fun, sitting around the fire and talking. It's a very, at least I always feel like it's a very healthy space to be in. It's very restorative because you're really present in the moment. Like you take your watch off, you put your phone away, and you can't do anything about whatever is going on at work or at home because you're not there. You can't do anything about it, and you just have to be in the present. And I always found it such an amazing feeling that I don't really get many other places, but I should probably try to find it or like do it purposefully, because it's restful in our stressed days in such a different way from a lot of other things, I think, at least that I have experienced. Maybe I wasn't good. Well, we are being done now. I am deciding. Chaos. I can get a friend to film me at the fair? Oh, I don't know about that. Filming is awkward enough, and then asking someone else to is even more awkward. There's a reason I have a tripod. People always be like, oh, but you do content creation, you can film stuff for us. And I'm like, I'm really, really, really awkward. You have no idea how hard it is for me to film, or worst yet, talk in public. Most of what I do happens within these four walls, and it happens without anyone else hearing me until it goes live. No one have to look over my shoulder or look at me or ask me how I do things, because I just do it. Hello, Haley. Hope you're taking good care of yourselves today. I am sitting down talking to you, so that feels very much like self-care, I think. We have been having a furniture order arriving today, so we have been building furniture on and off a bit. We're getting there, so hopefully by next week, I'm really hoping, the workroom will actually be workable. It was a balance. We were sort of, for the longest time, I really like looking at secondhand furniture online. We have a really good website in Norway where people will list stuff they want to sell or give away, and you pick it up if you have a trailer or like the right sized car. And that's how I've always acquired furniture when I need it, because it is so much cheaper than anything else, and it's also, you know, sustainable, because you take something that someone don't have a use for. But it was turning out to be a really big project for the workroom, and the workroom has already taken enough time as it is. I thought we would be back up and running in like a week after moving, and it's been almost a month, and I'm getting really anxious to get back into working. Okay, I didn't think we would spend the whole of September pretty much working on the workroom, so I feel really bad. So we ended up ordering for that reason, you know, that I wanted to get back up and running. And also, I don't know if you've seen this as well where you are, but with the inflation and everything being more expensive, I also noticed a change in the secondhand market. Like, people don't sell as much stuff secondhand, and also they want more money for it, which makes sense. When people have less money, they don't change their furniture as often. They want more money for changing it, if they change it. So I've seen some interesting trends change that makes sense with everyone having a harder time affording things. Did I paint the wall behind you? I did not. Well, I painted this gradient, which is the most rudimentary gradient, and then my spouse, who is amazing, turned sort of this very rudimentary gradient from dark to light, and they turned it into this amazing abstract, cloudy, soft. I don't even know how to describe it, but it's beautiful. I love it. They worked so hard on it. And we're gonna set up the office, even though they wanted done this wall and they wanted to do this one for me as well. But we are just gonna leave it as is, and I'm gonna set up the workroom. We're gonna pull all the furniture a little way away from this wall. And they're gonna work on it when they have the time, when they have the spoons, because we're both getting a bit exhausted with trying to get everything set up. So we're gonna allow them a break. We're also eventually gonna paint these, what are they called, moldings? You know, the edge pieces of wood that go sort of around the ceiling and stuff, in the same dark color as the bottom. So that's gonna be like a dark green. But no, my spouse, well, I do the rudimentary stuff to try to save my spouse time, and then my spouse has done all the finishing touches that turns it from basic rudimentary gradient that I can do to something totally amazing. So not my credit, but they are amazing, and they wanted to do this for me, and I'm super grateful, because I'm not very good at interior design, and having these walls, I mean, they do a lot of the work for me. I don't have to put up pictures and make it nice. Like, the wall itself is art, so why would I cover it up with too many pictures or stuff? So I'm really grateful for that. They worked so hard on it. So, but also they're having fun, which is good. They're talking about doing like galaxy ceilings in other rooms, and just their ideas are just overflowing. It's so much fun to see. It's moody and beautiful. Yes, I love it. I think it's gonna be really nice to have like something going on in the background of shots, probably. Like for talking head and stuff when we do that. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. It looks really fun. I think that's the important thing. Like, you walk into your workroom and you want to be there because it's a nice space. it always takes more time after moving to get things in order than you think. It does, and it seems to take longer every time we move, because I mean, the older you get generally, the more you tend to accumulate stuff. And every time I move, I want to like throw away half of it, because I don't like all the mess and all the chaos and all the boxes, and I just get really anxious. But then you put it away and you put it in storage, or you do give it away. We actually have like 2 donation boxes that are already full that we started after we moved, because we're like, oh no, we didn't actually need this, or we didn't actually want this, and we're just starting new donation boxes for secondhand shops to get stuff out again. But yeah, it always takes so much longer than I want to admit. It's really frustrating when you really want to like do the thing, produce the stuff. Do you have any historic interior design? I think about adding some tablet woven ribbons for my curtains. Ooh, that would be really cool. I don't have anything like that at present. Maybe I should. Maybe that would make it easier on myself in terms of interior design, because I never know what to put up. Like I'll put up my cats or something, and then I'm like, now what? Maybe some dried plants. But yeah, maybe I can do that. We can do some of the stuff we've made and hang that up maybe. We'll see. We'll see. It's not a bad idea. I'll have to think about some ways to implement that, but I do want to, like, in an ideal world, if I had a big proper sized loom, it would be really nice to weave a carpet for the room ourselves, like in wool, and like a nice chunky good carpet. That would be really cool, but it would also take long and they take up a lot of space, so I don't know. We shall see. The movers accidentally moved the box we wanted to bring to the secondhand store. Now it's in our storage again. Oh no. That is so typical. We had really good movers though. Like when they came, they sort of wanted us to walk through the entire house and be like, okay, what do you want to move, what not? Is this included? So ours they were really energetic and really fast. My goodness. But we had sort of tried to get everything out of the house. It wasn't, but yeah, I can see how they would just pick that up, just bring that along. That gets kind of frustrating. Ooh, more people having tablet weaving for their curtains. That is really nice. Maybe I should do that, yeah. I do use my curtains a fair bit for light diffusion when I'm filming, because bright sunlight does not make for happy footage or happy brains when light gives you migraine. So I already have a completely light blocking blind set up, so that if I get sick, I can pull it and make the room completely dark, which is such a nice thing to have again. We haven't had it for years. I had it in one place we lived at, like we rented, and I've missed it since, and now we have it, and it is very nice. Yeah, I hope everyone is having a reasonably good time this Thursday. I'm just knitting along. Don't know if you can hear, we have a guest over, so spouse and guest are building furniture and having a grand old time laughing in the living room. It is very nice. Sut hasn't visited me yet, which is interesting, because she has learned that when I sit down in this chair, I generally sit for a while, but I'm sure she's found another nice place to rest. Like I talked about it earlier, how spouse found, these are secondhand pieces that we found, but like they have this medium-high thing that the TV stands on, and then there's a really high cabinet next to it, which like 30 centimeters away from the ceiling or something like that, and the cats can go from the shorter one to the really tall one, and spouse got a really nice big basket and put a wool blanket inside and put it all the way on top of that cabinet, and both the cats have been loving it. Oh, Embla is a really, a ceiling cat who really loves to be up high. Sut is kind of ambivalent, like she can be anywhere really. She likes high places, but she likes medium high places and caves too, like she'll just find anywhere. But they have both really been enjoying that basket. You know, they can lie there, they can be warm and snug and safe, and just look at everyone around them without anyone getting to them. They've just been loving it. So we are trying to design a lot of those spaces, both in the workroom and, you know, outside of it, so that the cats can really have a lot more levels than they used to. I mean, they had their cat tree and they had some furniture that was, you know, that they could climb on, but we are trying to be even more conscious of that now, so that they really have basically, you know, kitty jungle gym with furniture, so that our stuff stays inside the cabinets and the cats can sort of run around on top of them, because they think that is a lot of fun, and they just have a blast doing that. Hello, Kelly, welcome. We are just chatting about all sorts of things, like medieval weeks in Visby that we want to attend, and amazing museums that we have attended, and I don't know, just generally griping about how exhausting it is to move and how frustrating it is when everything takes 4 times, 5 times longer than you thought or wanted it to, and you just sort of feel stuck. But eventually you get there and you just keep doing one thing at a time. Ooh, I wanted to show you. This is not going to be in my workroom because it is too big. It's going to end up, we have like a thingy where we have a little basement, and then there is the kitchen and the living room and the ground floor, and then on the first floor there are the workrooms, our bedroom, and the bathroom. So there's like stairs that go all the way from the basement all the way to the first floor, and at the top of those stairs we have been looking at lamps, and again secondhand, and I found this lamp. In typical me fashion, I fell in love with it before I realized I should look at the dimensions of how big it is. It's an antique lamp, it's old, and we got it for very cheap because people don't want antique lamps, basically give them away. And I thought, we called it a UFO because it's a little glass thing. I thought it was about the big, you know, little cute little lamp that I could hang on the top of the ceiling. Just, you know, a small thing, give you a little bit of light. Let me show you our little lamp. I still haven't connected to the ceiling. Ooh, look at her. Isn't she pretty? Doesn't she just bring you joy just to look at? I'm thinking I might shorten the chain a little bit, depending on how far down she comes in the ceiling. Like, we only have normal height ceiling, which are I think 2.4 meters, so our tall friends are definitely gonna have to walk around this. So I might shorten the chain a little bit, like pull it up a little bit more, but she's so beautiful. But she's not quite as small as I thought she would be. It is glass, it's glass and brass and an old light fixture, and I'm actually not sure. I would have to look more closely at it, how I actually open it when I need to change the light bulb. I mean, these days we have LED light bulbs, so you don't need to change them as often, but how do I actually open you, madam, so that I can put in new light bulbs? I'm assuming it has something to do with this. Yeah, it's definitely something to do with that. Ooh, no, there's a spinny thing. Yeah, I'm gonna do this carefully, but yeah. My little UFO. It's gonna end up in the stairs somehow when I find the time to turn the power off and do that. Because we are allowed in Norway to do small things like installing lights is allowed. Of course, not putting in sockets or anything is allowed, but you're allowed to change your ceiling lights without an electrician. That is one of the things you are allowed to do by your own self. I also have an electrical engineer for a friend who I can text when I panic and need advice. But yeah, I just look forward to... I'm gonna say I'm not very good at interior design. I just want a space that brings me joy to look at. Like, it doesn't have to be magazine pretty, but I want pieces that are either fun for me to look at, or I feel loved because I'm like, oh, my friend made this for me, or oh, so and so made this for me, like they thought about me, and then it makes me feel loved. And I just like to decorate my home in that kind of way. Spouse likes a bit more to actually do the design properly with colors and stuff, so hopefully we bounce off each other and end up with something nice in between. But yeah, do we have Vinted in Norway? I know they are better for clothes than interior decorations, though. I am not sure. I'm not very good at being on all of the different websites and apps. The main thing that I use is something called Finn, which is a Norwegian site similar to, Gumtree or Craigslist, that kind of, people list stuff that they have to give away or for sale, and you message on it, and they either send it to you or you drive to their house. And although we are often very secretive about our address, somehow it has become all right to give our addresses to people who are picking up or giving us stuff. It's a strange kind of culture thing, isn't it? Sometimes we also meet in neutral third spaces if it's a small thing, or like it's hard to get to the different spaces people live. But yeah, it's Finn is the primary Norwegian website that I use for looking for secondhand things, and you can find so many things there. My goodness, a lot of the stuff we have in our house we just got for free there because people just want it out of the house either because they're moving or because they got something new. So many different reasons. So much in our house is free or pretty cheap from Finn. So this is the first time ever in my life. The boxes that are standing around me, it's the first time I have ever bought new furniture. I have never done that before, because whenever I look at furniture catalogs, even when they're like sale, big offers, I'm like, this is expensive. I can't afford this. Student budget, no. But yeah, we are about to have some more ads, so time to find me ye old hydration bottle. Hope you're all staying hydrated and well fed and whatever you need to make your body thrive. It's like Uber taught don't to get in a car with a stranger and then you call for Uber. I know, right? I have never done that, but yeah, I see the juxtaposition there. It's really interesting, isn't it, how things have changed. You only buy new furniture from IKEA? Yeah, that is where we ended up going to, just because we couldn't afford to go other places. And like I'm justifying it to myself by being like, well, we're gonna be careful with it and we'll keep it for a long time. And we didn't buy the cheapest furniture from IKEA. That is quite easy to damage. We've had a couple of the cheapest IKEA pieces, again, that we picked up for free and that we've used, and I like Kallax shelves and stuff like that, and then when you hit them they do get quite damaged. So we have ordered some other things. But yeah, what I'm thinking is that IKEA has a 10-year guarantee now, which I think is pretty good, and we are pretty careful with our furniture, so I'm thinking it's going to last easily twice that long. So I'm hoping that will be sort of the caution there. So it'll be, because this room is ever so slightly smaller than the one we just moved from, where I've been filming for 2 years. I didn't think it would be smaller, but it's a little bit smaller. So I finally decided to go and spend the money on, the work table that I have been filming on previously is just a dining room table that, again, we picked up for free, that someone was getting rid of. And it was just the dining table legs underneath. But I know a lot of sewists on the interwebs have inspired me, and I wanted it for a great many years. to have just bench plates on top, and then some sort of storage underneath to serve as the legs, either a chest of drawers or, you know, a little cupboard of some kinds of gotten 2 little cupboards. And then IKEA nowadays, at least in Norway, they have outlets where they either have things that have been on display or things that have been returned, or things that have, like, maybe the packaging is a little damaged, like whatever it is, things that would previously have been just thrown away, but instead they put it in the little outlet corner at the end of the store, and you can buy things at a pretty big discount. And we found a couple of pieces there, like a couple of bench plates that were just for display, that we got for much cheaper than they are new. So we're going to have 2 of those side by side. They're quite narrow. I think they're 50 centimeters wide, and then with 2 I think you'd call them cupboards, just sort of short underneath, and that will be that. I also, for ye old health, I'm gonna try one of those standing desks, but I am, by nature, I want things to last for as long as possible, and I always imagine that those electric standing desks are very convenient, but I am not skilled at all in repairing electrical things. I have no experience or knowledge of most electrics. I am very rudimentary, like I can connect a light, but I don't know if this is correct or not, but I imagine if I buy an electric standing desk, if there's a chance that it wouldn't last as long because it might get a fault or some kind, like, I don't know, cables might come loose, I don't know, maybe I'm being too paranoid. But instead I got one with a hand crank, so you swivel it up and you swivel it down, which I thought would be quite fun. But then we get to try that and see if that works, since we're doing quite a lot of sitting with the writing and planning and thinking of videos. So we're trying to do a little bit of that kind of, not really aesthetic, but hopefully useful and good for this, you know, organism that carries our brain around and allows us to do things like knitting and crafting and sewing. And I did see someone talk about them doing blackwork embroidery earlier, but I apologize, I haven't really kept up with chat as much as I sometimes try to do, but I'm hoping people are having a good time, and hopefully by next time we will have even better sound, even less echo. I can hear that there is still some, especially if I raise my head and talk towards the ceiling where there is nothing. I was playing with the idea that maybe I should take like a piece of cloth and like hang cloth from the ceiling. That would probably be really good for the sound. Could probably look a bit cozy, actually. I was gonna say strange, but no, I think it might look cozy, but it might be a little bit dampening, since you like high ceilings for having a good space within. I don't know, I never really thought so much about, you don't really think so much about echo when a home is furnished, do you? When it's already done, because then the echo goes away. But while you're furnishing, and when you walk into a new space, and it's empty, you really notice the echo. That's me doing blackwork. Hello, Susan. That is lovely. I hope you're having fun with it. Blackwork is one of my favorite embroidery techniques. I think it's so much fun. I have also done it a few times with variegated thread, and I've seen some really gorgeous pieces in like a rainbow gradient. My goodness. It's the unstitched coif from the Victoria and Albert Museum. Ooh, I want to check that out. Let's see if we can find it. Whoops. E&A unstitched coif. Let's see if we can find it. Coif unknown. Oh my goodness. Let's see if I can do the thing that I have tried to set up. Oops. Doop, 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 doop. This one and this one. Is it this one? It is very, very pretty. Oh, and look at the embroidery on the sides. That look a bit like Norwegian, like edge lace that I've wanted to do, that I'm hopefully going to get to do eventually. That's like white work though. I think I found the wrong one, but it is still very gorgeous. It's probably the wrong thing though. But I don't think you can post a link, Susan. I think the YouTube's does not like that, so they take them away. But let's. I don't think I'm allowed to post links, but it deletes everyone that tries to do the same, and they don't send them to me for moderation either, which is a little bit. It is what it is. I mean, is it this one maybe? Here's a blackboard one at least from the 1600s. But it doesn't say the unstitched coif, it just says unknown. Void. Google string or nothing and unstitched coif. Huh. Yeah, we can try that, I suppose. Let's see if the geolocation will allow us that. Ah, the website string or nothing. I see. Oh wow, there are so many pretty ones. Replication. Let's see if we can enlarge this a bit. There we go. I still haven't set up this perfectly, but oh, there we go. Oop. I love black work. It's so pretty. It is, hands down, no lies, one of my favorites to look at and to stitch myself. I think it's a lot of fun. It's very textural, if that makes sense. I think this is, oh my goodness. I can see you having a lot of fun with this because, you know, it's a lot of different little areas, a lot of different little leaves and then different patterns within those, even little insects. Oh my goodness, someone really had a lot of fun with this one, I think. This is gorgeous. I hope you're having a really good time stitching that, Susan. That looks so much fun. See, back to the old just my face, such as it is. Where'd you go? Where's my OBS? Ödlorivast. Is that how you say that? Ödlorivast? I'm trying to fix my tablet weave. The ribbon is wider in places, so I'm pulling at the weave trying to even it out. Tedious. Oh, that does sound tedious. Pardon the noise. They're feeding the cats, apparently. It's the one with all the birds, flowers, and animals. Yeah. Oh, that is, yeah. I love that one. So in love with the... That one isn't either, but similar? Oh no. Whoops. I'm so in love with the squirrel on it. Let's see. The VA number, if I can copy that. Let me finally find the right one. Admiring other stuff in this at the same time. Pardon the mess. D and A. Victoria and Albert Museum. And I want to search for the collections number, please. Internet, will you behave? Oh, so it's this one that doesn't really have, that isn't done? Squirrel, where is the squirrel? Hopefully, it has birds on it, it has some insects on it. My zoom is all off though, so where is the squirrel? Is this the right one? I am not sure. I apologize for my... No, but the picture is gonna look all wonky. Squirrel is at the bottom towards the left. Let me check out if there is, if I can see the squirrel. I cannot see the squirrel at the bottom towards the left. Oh no, did I find the wrong one again? Even with the right collections number, that doesn't seem right. I want to see the squirrel. Come on. Where is the squirrel? Am I blind? Is it this one? Bottom towards the left. You're gonna have to help show me because I'm blind apparently and unable to see. Oops, on the VA photo it's top right. Oh, sorry, whenever I read chat I exit the picture. That's not very... I'm gonna have to set up a better thing for this. Top right. I have plans for setting up a better system. Might just be it as an interpretation. Interesting. I saw one that was interpreting the finding that had a squirrel. Huh. I'm sorry, apparently we can't. So it's up here, but upside down. I shall have to look at this when I'm not live trying to figure out technical stuff. You do! I'm gonna find it. Give me a moment when I can zoom in. That is so much fun. Oh, this looks like such a fun project. Give to me the squirrel. See a lot of birds. But anyway, oh my goodness, that is such a fun. People made so many beautiful things. The coif, when assembled, the squirrel is on the bottom left. Oh, that is so cool. I love those really intricate things. I mean, I love everyday things too, but sometimes those things are really fun. People just love to make fun things. I promise it's a squirrel, and on the string or nothing side, it becomes clearer because people did it all differently. I see, I totally believe. I do believe you, Susan. It's just that I'm bad at looking at things. At the same time, but that sounds like such an amazing project, especially since so many people did their own interpretation of it. That's amazing. Also, welcome. Someone came. Yeah, Anastasia. Welcome. We are chilling out, talking about blackwork embroidery and trying to find squirrels in historical. Excellent example, having a blast. But welcome to the live. We talk about anything and everything crafting related. Sometimes people craft along with me, we take a bit of a break, or some people clean to the stream, and people do all sorts of stuff. Some people just rest. That is completely allowed. I kind of encourage people to take a moment to themselves, and we can just chat, hang out, keep a low profile, not very demanding, not very and high energy, just kind of chilling out. I'm knitting an As You Like It shawl that is similar to the one that I made a video of in black, if you have seen that, except I was having so much fun making the black one for a friend that I immediately cast on another one in white, because why not? I also want a shawl. Hello, Grelio, Thalasos, hello, welcome. We are chilling out. I also, if anyone is new here, I just like to mention it, but we pause the live for ads. We talked about this many times, but I like to pause the stream for ads because, I mean, not everyone is gonna get ads, so sometimes we just chill, just take a break, have a drink. I have a iced matcha at the moment, just matcha and water, no milk, and I think it is delicious, especially in summer. And it's, I mean, when people get ads, they are in a very real way helping support the channel, so it seems, I don't know, just weird if we leave those members of the community behind and maybe they miss an point that they wanted to hear or something. So I try to just take a break when the ads are rolling, because in a very real way, if you get ads, you help support the channel, and I'm really grateful, and it would be really weird to leave those community members behind when we can choose to just sit here and chat. It's not like we are doing anything that is, you know, high action, that we can't pause, or playing a game that, again, we can't pause. We can just sit here and chill out and just having a good time together. The squirrel is what inspired me to do it. I'm obsessed with the squirrel. I would be too. That does sound like a lot of fun. Hello, sir. Oh no, I forgot my snacks again. I did not bring kitty snacks. I am a bad cat owner, so I cannot entice the child with snackies so you can see her. Currently doing the outlines in black. I'll add some metallic gold as well as small gold spangles to fill in. We'll also fill in with single thread black. So black and gold is what it will be. That sounds like it's going to be amazing looking. Black and gold is such a good combination. Oh, that sounds like a very fun project. So confusing to pop in here in the middle, usually watching it recorded. Yeah, I can understand that. But I enjoy both. Like there is something in watching things from the beginning, but it's also nice to like actually be there as the conversation is happening, which is a pretty magical thing that we can do now, that we can actually talk and hang out at the same time all over the world. I mean, we have people from Japan, we have people from South America, we have people from North America, Europe. Blows my mind. One thing is the time zones, but the other thing is the different seasons between the North and South. It's just, yeah, it's hard to wrap my head around. It's really cool that we can all just hang out in the same time, even though we're in very different places. You're knitting the As You Like It shawl as well, adapting the pattern 16, make it square in the round though. To make it square in the round though. That sounds really cool. I'm glad you are making it your own. I really like it when people do that, and when they get creative with it. I'm bad in that I get bored if I'm like following a pattern for a very big thing. I want to like do my own thing. So I like patterns that are simple, that I can easily adapt to various needs and things. Hello, darling. Hi. Would you like to say hello to the people in the chat? I don't have any snackies though, but my beautiful girl, you are gorgeous. I've been doing peak millennial things, as I've shared in the Discord, which everyone can join. There is a link in the pinned comment. But I've been doing peak millennial things and gotten a ring sling secondhand to try to carry the babies in, because it can sometimes be very clingy. It can be hard to get things done, so I'm hoping that by carrying her in a baby carry sling thing, she will be happy and I will still get stuff done. We're still getting used to it, but we are purring up a storm. so far, and we are putting it for a little while. Yeah, we're a very good girl. You want to knit and as you like it shawl, but I haven't been able to get to the shop for yarn, and I've only seen 80 centimeters needles. I've never knitted a shawl, only crochet, challenge accepted. Well, I think you could, depending on how thick or thin your yarn is. If you have very thin yarn, it would definitely be doable to do it on 80 centimeters. Maybe I should check how long these actually are. But I mean, you probably could, depending on how big you want the shawl. Try with 80 centimeters. I'm not sure how it would work, but I mean, you just end up with the stitches very densely together, and you are at high risk of dropping stitches, like losing stitches, because they are so tightly that they might pop off your knitting needle if they end up too tightly. But I've definitely done that before, where I haven't had the ideal wire length and just done my best anyway, and you end up with a very dense, scrunched up project that you really have to force to stay on your needles. But you can still give it a go. See if it works out. If nothing else, you get a really small shawl, maybe for a child or summer evenings that is not too large. Oh, we are about to have said ads again, so we shall have a spot to drink. Would you like some tea, darling? Not quite your taste, is it? And you didn't know, so this. Oh yeah, we're having ads, so we shall wait. But yeah, good night, owly lady. I hope you have a good rest and replenish those spoons. Take a bit of care of yourself. Yeah. Good night, owly lady. A new kitty? No. Suris has been around for a while. She's my snugglebug. Embla is a little bit younger, but she's very bonded to spouse and not me, so she doesn't visit us quite as often, but Sud often likes to join, because she knows I will sit here for a while. My cat passed away yesterday. His name was Nord for Nordstrom. Oh no. I'm sorry to hear that, Anastasia. That is really, it's really hard to lose a pet. No, you can't do any crafting because it's when he was sitting on my lap. I can totally understand that. Oof, yeah, my sympathies. When Enya passed away, our old lady cat, I was devastated for weeks, so I totally understand not being able to do the things that you can usually do, because it's really hard to lose a pet. So I hope you are taking really good care of yourself and like giving yourself grace and room, because it's a lot harder than people think. I mean, grief is so different for everyone, isn't it? Because some people don't have a lot of impact on, some people are really struggling. So yeah, just give yourself time and grace, and don't feel like you have to feel a certain way by a certain time or be able to do certain things. Just let it be what it is. I hope you have the ability to do that. Our furry children, or not furry, sometimes we have slithery children as well, add so much to, I mean, me and spouse as well, they add so much to our lives that it's just amazing. So yeah, I hope you are taking very good care of yourself and allowing yourself to grieve and to breathe and to just sit with it. Or distract yourself if you want to. It's allowed to go in and out of the grief. Yeah, I remember when my cat died when I was a child. It's so sad. Yeah, it's really devastating. They really are a part of our family, but with generally a shorter lifespan, so it's allowed to be sad when they pass. Oops. Doesn't mean we get to drop all the rest of our 2 stitches. I even cried when my boyfriend's cat died. And I'd only known that cat for like 4 weeks when it happened. Still, these things impact us, but the pets and the people who impact us don't have to be very close, you know. You just have to be there. And some people cry easier than others, and that is also completely okay. Hi everyone, hello Alex, welcome. Busy knitting a sweater with my hand spun. Oh, that sounds like it'll be amazing. I hope you're having a lot of fun with that project. We are hopefully not having, knock on wood, as many sound issues today. I still feel like I'm talking a bit down into my chest, because every time I raise my head I can hear the echo bouncing off the ceiling, but I am hoping that it will be better by next time, because next time we have gotten furniture arriving today. I had to admit defeat on the secondhand stuff and buy some new furniture, so it's sitting in boxes around me. I've started assembling it and I shall continue doing that tomorrow, and then hopefully next time I shall actually have proper workroom where we can sit and share the space and work on videos and get back to the making of things. I'm so ready. I feel like I'm still in summer mode, like I still have a summery video that I want to make, and everyone is making, you know, cozy, spooky, getting into October vibes and autumn stuff, and I'm like, no, I'm still thinking about summer videos and talking head things that I want to make. And oh my goodness, I'm feeling like, because I feel like a large part of the reason why I ended up pulling the video or unlisting the video about wool, not untreated wool, moth-proof wool blankets, is that I had pressured myself too much. And I mean, we talk about pressure being a negative thing, and I talk to you about not pressuring yourself about things, and then I do it to myself because brains. But I think a lot of the reason is that I didn't give myself enough time to think about the script, because I want to make a video every 2 weeks. That feels sort of like my schedule, but sometimes a video needs much longer than that. And this was one of those, and I have been thinking about adding some addendums to that video and adding the details that I've now realized that I want to add to give them more context to things, and maybe re-release it. We shall see if I actually manage to do that, but that is something that I want to see if I can manage to sort of fiddle around with the script a bit and see if I can have sort of an addendum with additional references and stuff like that. And I think it was because I didn't give myself enough time to think about the script and the research and the things. And I'm going forward to just give myself the time that a video needs and be more patient with myself, even if that means that it takes longer time to make videos. I really want to make a lot of videos fast because I want to show you all the cool things, but then time is a thing, and I don't have endless amounts of it, so I kind of have to pace myself. But I'm hoping the lives, if the videos become a little less frequent, if I'm working on a bigger research video, I'm hoping the lives can sort of tide us over, where we can still hang out as a community and chat and craft and have a good time, and then I go back to working on whatever it was I was working on that is making me want to rip my hair out, because I love research videos, and I also don't like research videos because they are very hard to work on and write. But oh my goodness, they're so satisfying when they're finally starting to get somewhere and you finally release something and people give, you know, and people get value from them. That's what means something to me, that people say, oh, I didn't know anything about this and I learned something, and I'm like, yes, because we don't talk about the science of textiles, and I really want it to get more attention. We need to make more, I want people to know more about these things, and they're so nebulous to research, and if they're hard for me to research, I mean, I don't imagine how it would be for someone without research experience to work on. We'll wait patiently for them, however long they will take. I am grateful for that, because I think I might have to do that, especially with the research videos, that I might be like, no, we should pull back and give ourselves more time to really stew on things so that we don't have this issue again with me being unhappy with the conclusion that I made and then wanting to sort of change things. But But yeah, especially for those videos that are really important to me, they're really near and dear to my heart because yeah, I think it's information that is not really out there, especially in detail, and I really want it to be. I want people to know about how their clothes are made, what is in their clothes, things they haven't thought about, because they're just clothes, right? We just put them on our body to keep us warm. There's nothing dangerous about them, right? I love your live streams as much as your long form videos. Oh, I'm happy to hear that. I've really been enjoying doing live streams with the community because I get to connect with the community in a way that I can't with, you know, a sort of a static video. Because, you know, then you get the comments and they're really nice, but you can't really edit the content because it's already been there, it's already out there. Whereas with the lives, we get to have a conversation. I get to hear some of the things that you're thinking about. I get to hear that you're making some of the things that I presented in the video. We get to talk about random science things or just life grievances and life events, and we get to just hang out. And I've been really enjoying it. To be quite honest with you, so I'm glad you are enjoying watching them too, because I'm finding them very nice. As a way to engage with the community and sort of a mix. Like, I am working technically because I'm still making content, but it's very restful. It's nice kind of towards the end of the week for me to sit down and just have a bit of a chill time and having an excuse to sit down with my crafting that probably haven't gotten picked up since the last live, unless I've been filming a project about it, let's be honest. I too will wait as long as it takes for your videos. Thank you. That is very nice. I will try to remember that when I'm being frustrated and feel like I am not putting out enough videos. I shall try to remember that. Being as I am only a single person and unable to pay the wages of a research assistant or anything like that, it will be just me for a very long time, I shall think as well, especially at this, since I want to take my time with videos. Yeah, I bought a silk kimono that smelled of mothballs and they just said just air it out. I'm not super confident about it. Yeah, I can understand not being super confident about that as well. Yeah, we were losing a lot of knowledge about textile care and textile keeping and in general just what textiles are and how they behave. So I really want to pull that more into focus in a way. I really love people who do textile history, like the garment history as well. I think they are really cool videos, but I really love the nitty-gritty of weaving and textiles. So I just want to go like beyond the gorgeous reproductions of gorgeous silk gowns and the history of things. And I want to take like, you know, stereotypical, you know, take a microscope or an analytical instrument or reading sources about how people treated their textiles and just learn so much about the details of the textiles themselves, not just how they were made into clothes, but the textiles, because everything starts with that thread, isn't it? That spinning. And oh, yeah, it's just so cool. I love your textile videos, and I don't know, I never have any expectations about people's releasing schedules. That is interesting. That is really interesting. Maybe I should, yeah, let off the pressure a bit on myself in that regard. Also, life's going on? Definitely. There's always a lot of life going on. It's, what was that person saying that, you know, people are always either going through things or just coming out of it or just starting going through a crisis, and isn't that the truth? Just sort of putting out one fire after the next, and that's just life, just going from one thing to another, just always trying to do the best you can, isn't it? Either you are going through something or your friends are going through something or you're all going through something at the same time, and it's just, yeah, it's life, isn't it? Oh well. Nothing wrong with changing your mind about a video at a later stage. We'll live and learn. Yeah, And science especially, I mean, we know this, that science, when you get new information, you change your stance. This is pretty normal, but we shall see how we do this, because it's something that is very important to me. I mean, as if I still identify as a researcher, and in many ways I do, because I still try to put out these research videos, that the only thing we have as researchers is our integrity. That's just, if you don't have that, then what's your word worth anymore? So that is really important to me. It's something that I really, and it's also like, in some instances, it's about the health and safety, I feel like, of my viewers. Like, I want people to get as accurate information as possible. I want them to get as thorough an understanding as I can provide with the sources that I find, taking, it into consideration that most people don't have an extensive education in environmental chemistry like I do. So my education is in many ways a privilege. My access to research, my understanding of research articles is a privilege, and I feel like I have in many ways sort of a duty of care that isn't really correct, because like I don't have to make videos to the public about textiles and chemistry, but I feel like feeling a sense of obligation towards one's community and the world is not necessarily a bad thing, so long as it doesn't become a too big pressure. I feel like when done, as with so many things, in the right amounts, not excessive, it can be positive things, because it makes us, help us feel, responsible towards the earth that we share, and our communities, and the humans we share the world with, and the animals we share the world with. Like, I think it can be a good thing, so long as you don't overdo it and lose yourself in the process and push yourself too hard. If anything, I'm a little bit worried when someone is suddenly disappearing for a month. Yeah, I can understand that, which is why I've been trying to have, the Discord and the lives to let people know that, yeah, I am alive in between everything. Hopefully the chaos is starting to calm down. Again, knock on wood, I've been saying that for, I think, 2 months now. It still haven't happened. But I stay optimistic. Eventually it will happen. And the new place is amazing, I will say. We are really enjoying it. It seems to be a space that really works for us, if that makes sense. Like, the first thing we did when we started unpacking the kitchen and the living room was that everything that wasn't needed to unpack straight away, we just put it down in the basement room, so that we had a nice, not overloaded with boxes, living room and kitchen area. And that has been so helpful, to just kind of pull up one box at a time and go through it when you have the energy, rather than feeling overburdened with all these boxes invading your cozy space, making you stressed about all the things you haven't yet done. So it feels like a space that kind of just works for our brains, and I hope we are going to enjoy it for many years to come. I certainly am enjoying it very much at the moment, for this first month that we've been here. Yeah, the only time I care about a video publishing schedule is when the YouTube channel covers news or particular events. Oh, that's a good point. I don't really do that. I'm not really good about trends or news or things like that. I prefer to do sort of calmer, or if I do news, it's like older news and things like that. Things that have happened in the past and that we now know more about the background of. But it's weird for me when someone is sorry about posting videos rarely, taking into account that it's YouTube and it's mostly free content. What demands can viewers have? Well, that is interesting, isn't it? Because I do agree, like, I don't think authors owe their audiences anything. Like, if they aren't able to finish a series, I can see how that can be frustrating, but they don't actually owe people stuff. Like, if they get sick, or if they just can't finish it, or if they pass away, like, we aren't owed content from people. I do think so, but yet when you're sort of producing it yourself, you do feel like you want to, I don't know, give the community value at a regular time. But I do agree, but yet some people do feel entitled, but generally it's it hasn't been very strong in this community, at least not yet. We are still a pretty small community, it's still a pretty manageable community. I can't imagine what it's like to have millions of subscribers who all, believe comments of various engagement. It must be very different. But we still have a very nice, close-knit, small community. That is very... I am mostly able to keep up with chat when you leave comments. Oh my goodness, you are so cute. I need a footstool or something, because otherwise your bum is gonna slide out, but... you are the cutest. Cat in ring sling, though, if you have a clingy cat. Have been trying the last few days with my new secondhand sling, and oh my goodness, they are both so cute. I feel like a kangaroo, and it's the best. Been the best kind of way. And they do usually like it for a while, and even if it's a new thing, they've been like, oh yeah, this is pretty chill. Which has been fun. I've also lost contact with YouTube somehow, so that is fun. So I don't know if I have been playing ads without knowing it, because I can't actually see what is going on. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. I apologize if that is happening to you. I'm not sure what is going on. Did we crash? Are we crashing? In gaming culture, audiences are extremely entitled, which is why I enjoy places like this more. I can understand that. Although I'm not sure if we can continue that much longer if we are having technical issues. I had hoped to be able to say goodbye to viewers before that, but... can you still hear me? It's a strange thing to ask, but... I am currently not... Stream status is poor. This is not good. Excuse me, sir, what are you doing in my stream? With the paintbrush. Yes, I can see you. Kitty content. It's better now, the last 30 seconds. Yeah, I got some error message on YouTube and then OBS disconnected. And we can hear you, excellent! Yay, we are back. Yeah, our internet seems to be dropping out on occasion. I might have to actually pull a cable upstairs. Sorry about that. Have some kitty content to make up for it. She is purring! Oh, my baby, you are so cute. But yeah, I'm not sure. I think the internet just cut out for a few seconds and then everything crashed and struggled to get back on again. So happy it's YouTube. I was worried my internet went out in the hurricane already. Yeah, no, it seems to be on my end. I'm hoping this will not be a regular thing, but we have been having some issues with the internet in the new place, so we shall see if we can do anything about it. But I might have to, you know, get a cable from the router and do a properly cabled thingy and not just doing it over the Wi-Fi, which we could do at the old... which we could do at the old place, but we shall see how it goes on this end. That was a bit distracting. Oh, those chin scritches, huh? Pet tax, I won't complain. It's a good thing you were here, wasn't it? To be your saving grace. Oh, you are so cute. Can we do the good old... Shall we do the proper pet cam? Ooh, that's bright, isn't it? Apologies about that. There she is. There's my beautiful girl. Hi. You are the most beautiful girl, aren't you? Yeah, there's a cat on the screen, that's correct. But it's you, so you don't have to be scared. Oops, I forgot to say that we were going to have ads. I was too distracted by my own cat. Apologies. kitty! Yes, a very cute kitty. I shall still have a drink, even though I think I'm a little late for that. Yeah, this is my tea. Still not very interesting to you? Oh no, Smoothie can be snuggled. Would you like to lay down again? Seems today is a tech issue day. We had a power outage on the whole street in the city center. Oh no! Oh, that's quite frustrating. I'm hoping this place will be fairly safe, but I mean, you never know when you're gonna have a power outage or not. If we do, you know, there's not really that much we can do about it. Whoops. So we shall see. I mean, Trondheim does get power outages in winter, typically, you know, from aforementioned storms or blizzards, you know, trees knocking power lines over, the usual stuff, so it's not uncommon. Sometimes you take out whole suburbs or whole areas of the city because you managed to get that one cable. But yeah, it usually doesn't last very long, at least. Like, you know, half a day, a couple of hours. I've never been to a really bad, you know, multiple day power outage so far. I like it, but that does happen in the more rural areas as well. But usually it's not very long when it's a big city with lots of people. Tea is always good. My chickens also try to drink my tea when I leave it on the ground. That's cute. Yeah, my cats don't usually, or our cats don't usually steal my tea, but Soot is a bit of a fruit bat. Embla is not, which is hilarious. So Soot really loves watermelon, and it is one of my favorite summer treats because it's like a really big treat for me as an adult to be able to go to the store and buy a whole, albeit tiny, watermelon and just have the whole watermelon, because that was never something we could do as children. It's just something that I really love to do, and whenever we do, we'll give like Soot a tiny slice that she can enjoy. And I think it's really funny because whenever we do that, Embla, our other cat, wants to run over and, you know, what are you eating, what's the treat, and then she'll sniff it, but she doesn't like fruit at all, so she'll be like, ew, what are you eating? So it will happily lick away until she gets to the green of the watermelon and just having a blast of purring the whole time. She'll also eat other melons and some other fruits too. Like, she'll only get small amounts. Like, we are aware that if you give cats too much and too often, they are at higher risk of developing kitty diabetes. So it's only a small amount on occasion. But she really loves watermelon, and we have several like footage of her just purring and licking until there's nothing left, and she is so adorable. But it's really funny, that juxtaposition, because usually when they get treats, they get, you know, proper cat treats, and then they get equal amounts. But whenever there's fruit around, Soot is the only one who wants it. But always wants to sniff it because Soot is eating something, so surely it must be tasty. It's weird the kitty doesn't try to knock the camera and everything. Sometimes I feel like he does that on purpose. Yeah, Soot is pretty good about tech things in general. I mean, the only thing she really likes are AUX cables, you know, so my lav mic, and if I have old earplugs that are still connected physically to my machine, I have to be mindful because she really loves, she has chewed up at least one set of old headphones, no, not headphones, but like just earbuds, like tiny ones. Because somehow, of all the cables in the world, she doesn't eat any other cables, although she does eat the drawstrings on things like sweatpants. If you don't wrap them carefully out of her sight, she will eat anything that is sort of that kind of shape. But sound cables and my mic cables, she will eat, and I would really not like her to destroy my microphone. So I have to be really mindful about that. But that is the only thing that she's really intense about. Like, she really likes that particular size cable, but nothing else, luckily. So she has been safe from power cables and other things. We have kept a very mindful eye out, because I really don't want electrocuted kitty. No thank you. But luckily none of them are interested in that. We have other things to interest them. Yeah, in Gothenburg it's common with electric outage because of construction. Apparently there are no maps of the oldest power lines in the ground, so architects must guess and cables get cut. That does sound like old city problems, doesn't it? I can totally see that happening. Nod was hunting for my water and tried to drink from my cup specifically, oftentimes spilling all the water. Oh no! Akuma is drinking by dipping his paw in the water and then licking water from the paw. That is so cute. Yeah, we had visit from a friend of ours was watching the cats while we had to attend an event elsewhere, and they were watching. And at one point, they brought their child and they left me a flower in a little cup on the living room table, which was really, really sweet. And Soot has been drinking out of that cup vigorously, and seeing as cats often don't drink enough, I've just been refilling it and thinking, well, if you either the water tastes much better with this little flower in it, or you think you're being a little bit naughty by being on the living room table, and either way, I will refill the cup because I like that you are drinking water. Go for it. I have refilled it twice from her almost emptying it, so it has been a popular. Maybe I should do that more. I see people place cups around the house so that the cats get sort of their water enriched by being in different locations. So maybe I need to try that with mine as well, although the cat fountains usually seem to do the trick. Also, Akuma loves leaves between raw chicken. I actually caught the live. Greetings from Uzbekistan. I went on vacation here. Well, hello to you in Uzbekistan, Joanna. I'm hoping you're having a really good time. Are you doing any fun textile related things in Uzbekistan, like attending some spinning events or looking at local gorgeous textiles? They have a lot of gorgeous crafting. Isn't that is along the Silk Road, isn't it? I'm thinking about those gorgeous geometric. Are they woven or embroidered? Maybe a bit of both? I'm not sure, maybe I'm not thinking about the right area, but I know there's a lot of gorgeous textile history all along the Silk Road and the Middle East. There's so much pretty crafts and handiwork. There's so many skilled people just everywhere. There's not a single place that don't have gorgeous crafts, because people love to be creative. It's just like one of the really uniting might be a better, like universally uniting thing, is that people love to make stuff and make beautiful stuff, which I think is really cool. I'm photography Soman textile, both embroidery and weaving. Oh, that sounds so great. Oh, I would love to see pictures of that. That sounds amazing. Textile history, like, I could never do like textile history all over the world as a video because I don't have enough knowledge, and how would I even, like, I don't have language skills to talk to the craftsmen that do the thing, like the artisans who do the thing. But how I want to have a video series of like really going in depth of textile history around the world would be so amazing. Probably never get made though, because it's not enough drama, but oh, there's so much cool stuff that people make, and it's so gorgeous. We are all magpies loving the pretty and sparkly, which is fun. Yeah, exactly. You love fun, sparkly, and beautiful things. And I'm always thinking about, I think it was Isle of Man, or was it the Shetland Isle? I can't remember where, but it was an island with a very big knitting culture. And whenever sailors would dock and walk around in the city looking at wherever it was, young girls would follow them with their knitting needles, copying patterns that they hadn't already done in their like pattern book, so that they would have a new pattern with which to make like sweaters and mittens and what have you for their stitch library, as it was. So they would have new patterns to share with the rest of the village, so they could bring something new to their craft, which I think is really telling. You know, when you really focus on something and have a lot of fun with it, you look for new ways to enjoy it. When I come back, I will share the pics on Discord. Oh, I would love to see that. Please do. Yes, absolutely. We'll look forward to that. But I also hope you're having a good vacation and enjoying your time as well. Like, no stress. We will be here when you come back, hopefully with an ever better workroom. And yeah, I think this is gonna be a good space. I have decided that this will be a good space where we can make all the fun things together. I love the traditional Norwegian looms, but they're as big as double beds, so they are a bit massive. Like, where would you even put one? But sometimes I dream about the tiny Ashford looms, but they are so... they are money and they are valuable. They are totally worth it, but how do I join the Discord? Well, if you can see if there's a pinned comment, I think I pinned it, join us on our Discord. But I can also, by power of being the streamers, you cannot share links, unfortunately. Google stops them to avoid spamming, but I can, so I can share a link with you. So you can just click this ye old link, and the way I have organized the Discord is because one of the primary feedbacks that I got when I was thinking about making a community Discord server for everyone was that some people were worried that they would get overwhelmed by having a lot of channels, which I understand. So the way that I have set up the Discord is that there are a lot of private groups and channels. So for instance, if you're not interested in sewing, but you really like fiber arts and knitting, you can choose not to see the sewing channels and only see the knitting channels and things like that. So you can sort of pick and choose your own adventure for the Discord. So you can have a really small Discord with mostly just the general chats, or you can have a really big one with all of them. Of course, I own the server, so I see all of it, but the idea is that as the channel grows and we get more people are probably gonna, you know, accumulate, come together in the smaller spaces, in the more specialized spaces like the sewing area or the knitting chat or whatever, because the general chat might get too busy. It isn't at the moment. We're only at what, 270 I think members in the Discord at the moment, so it's still very small and manageable. You need an app on my phone? Ah, interesting. Well, you can also join, if you have a desktop computer, you can also join from the browser. I know some people do that, which you don't need an app for. But the idea is, like, at the moment it's fairly small and very manageable, but as it grows, people can go to sort of smaller groups so that they don't get overwhelmed by a very big server being full of notifications all the time. So, and people are very nice there, people are very welcoming. I'm hoping that it'll remain like a good sort of beginner, in a way, Discord server, that people can come and people show them grace if they don't know how things work. We try to talk about it, you know. I don't know, it's a very nice space. People are very helpful and they share all sorts of fun things. People make, and especially, you know, if you have a channel that is like the creative show-off channel, where you just show off projects in progress, things you've made, things you're making, and people make so many fun things. I love to see it. Genuinely, I love to see all the cool things people are making, because it just, yeah, something that is easy to forget with the push to be ever productive in, you know, capitalist society. But making things just for the sake of making things can be valuable in and of itself. Just allowing people's space to be creative can work wonders. I really enjoy the Discord. I'm not on that often, but it's nice to go there when I am in a project phase. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's I like that people are engaging on and off, because that is what I want. I don't want people to feel like it's yet another thing they need to check in on, you know, multiple times a day and like always respond to notifications. That's not, like, you can come and go as you please, just like sort of, so far at least, it's a very calm, chill space. I'm really curious how it will happen, like what will happen as it slowly grows. I hope it will manage to stay and keep that very nice, welcoming, chill vibe that we have going, because I want people to have a space that doesn't feel, you know, busy or salesy, or, yeah. It's hard to explain, but like some places feel like they like need stuff from you, that they need you to always be engaged or always reacting to notifications or always be sort of on. Whereas there are not a lot of spaces, I feel, online as much, where you're allowed to just rest and sort of not have all that many expectations put on you. Like, it's enough to just be there and just hang out, just like I want to do with these live streams. You know, we're just hanging out. It's not very upbeat and energetic. We're just chilling, crafting, having a good time. And that is kind of all I want. Like, I want people to give these kind of spaces, because these are kind of the spaces that I always wished existed and never could find in media when I was younger. So at some point I just went, well, if I want it, maybe someone else wants them too, and we can just try to create this kind of chill, relaxed atmosphere where you don't have to be super engaged all the time. You can just relax. Last week a friend gave me a needle felting set. I have no clue what to make it, but I've had a lot of fun with it. Oh, that's the best, you know, when you get to start a new craft. I love craft accumulation and getting new crafts, so that is so cool. The needle felting doesn't have very big tools, does it? That's always a priority for me, because if I want to fit a lot of crafts in a small workroom, then they need to be not too large, which is one of the reasons I'm a bit scared of acquiring a loom, because ye old loom is a large piece of equipment, and where would I put her? Much as I really want one, I do. Most of my projects are useful things like clothing. Having something to craft without a function feels very liberating. Oh, I can imagine, yeah. Allowing yourself to make something that is just for fun can be super interesting if you're just used to making, you know, useful things. Ooh, a good first project for needle felting are brooches. They don't require much yarn and they're super fun to do. Ooh, I can see that. Oh, now I want to try needle felting too, but with the office and the move and everything, I don't think we have much time for new crafts this side of 2024, but we shall see what the future will bring one day. There are so many things that I do want to make. I do historic stuff, but try to make them functional in everyday life too. Otherwise, I do a lot of mending and tailoring of secondhand stuff. Yeah, I really like to do that too. Like, if I make something historical or historical inspired, I like it if I feel comfortable and want to wear it in my daily life too. Otherwise, I spend so much time and fabric making something that maybe I will not even wear that often, like a few weeks out of the year, if that. So I really enjoy to incorporate historical pieces or historically inspired things into my everyday wardrobe, and also tweaking historical. If I find a pattern where I know that I would probably use it every day, if I made it like this, I would prioritize making something that I would use every day, or not every day, but like that I would use regularly, rather than making it as historically appropriate as I could. Like, I want to make, you know, those wool breeches for biking or whatever, because like that's under the knee, because I really enjoy wearing trousers, and so I want to make something like that, because not because they have a lot of historical precedence, but I just think they look comfortable and I want them, and that is sometimes more than enough. I feel kind of rich when I can fix my own clothes and make them fit me, like spoiling myself. Oh, I can understand that. Having clothes that fit can be such a mind-blowing experience if you're used to like either just loosely fitting or ill-fitting clothes. It's so strange and amazing to have clothes that actually fit properly. It's not something we're used to anymore. I wear my Viking dresses at home all the time. I will walk in town with them as well, but I don't wear them to work. I can see that distinction, but yeah, Viking dresses are comfortable. I know some people when we go to Viking markets who will change out of their Viking gear when they go to the shop and stuff like that, but a lot of us just don't, because that stuff is comfortable. I just want to wear it all the time. And the linen, like the underdress, is breathing, and the wool is nice and keeps me warm. Like, yeah, it's just comfy clothing. It's something I always come back to. Like, people in the past were not stupid. They wanted things that were comfortable and could do the work. I also try to make historical clothes that double as everyday outfits. Yeah, there are more of us. I think that is getting more common. I don't pay attention to the fabric being historically accurate for that reason. Well, I just enjoy natural fibers because I'm a textile nerd and I just love the science of textiles. But yeah, I'm less concerned about that and more just like, I just love the feel of wool and linen, even though they are more expensive. But I reason that I will wear pieces for a long time. So it will be worth the time that it was made to produce it. But yeah, that is another thing, like there is no fiber shaming or source shaming in the Discord that we have. Like people, I've seen people needle binding with acrylics, which surprised me because I didn't realize that you could needle bind with something that wasn't wool, that you can spit splice and stuff like that. But I just think it's amazing that people are creative, and if they are allergic to wool, they can do that. If they want to make something and they want to make it out of a polyester, like go for it. There is no, like, I will not accept people being judgy about fiber content or whatever, just because I prefer natural fibers, because I think they feel amazing and I work so slowly that I can afford to work with it. That does not mean that I will accept people in my community looking down on others for choosing other things. Like, it's all an individual choice. That is important for me. My videos are informational, but I don't want them to be judgmental. You know, that here is some information for you, and then you go out and make your own choice. Is something that I strive to do. That's why I got into trying to make my own clothes. So far I've only made skirts because they are the easiest thing. Well, they are. But it's been also frustrating after knowing I can make those, and the frustration comes from not being able to find clothes like this for my body type in stores. And while I enjoy the process, it's still effort. I know what you mean. Like when you never find clothes that fit you properly in the store, it's like, yeah, it is work to make them, and it's nice when they fit, but at the same time, why can't I find clothes that fit me when there are clothes everywhere? Why is this such a problem? Linen is very nice in Scandinavian summer, not too hot, not too cold. Yeah, linen is amazing. It does so much work, and I always love to remember that insulation works both ways. Like if the linen petticoats can keep me cool in summer, can also keep me warm in winter. Is so interesting. Thefted clothing and thrifted clothing. That is a really hilarious spelling mistake, though, Susan. That is. I love that. Autocorrect is doing its thing. Sorry, but yeah, that is a really good autocorrect. We are about to have ads again, and those will probably be the last for the evening, I do think. So, hydration break. Struggling with weight fluctuations, and sewing allows me to make it slightly more adjustable. Yeah, I do the same thing. I have the same issue, and I try to make project adjustable when I can, because I think that is something that is good to have out there. Sometimes I'm not able to. The project did not end up the way I wanted it to, but yeah, I love adjustable clothing. Or all my petticoats are adjustable because they're not seen, you know, and a lot of my clothing, I like loose-fitting clothing to begin with, so a lot of the time I only have the only tight spot in like a shirt will be, you know, the wrists and the collar, and for a skirt it'll be the waistband. If it's trousers, I want them to fit in the seat. Well, not really the seat. The seat can be loose, but you know, the crotch, I don't want it to be too far down so that it's uncomfortable, and then the waistband, and that's kind of that. You know, like I don't need it to be very tightly fitting elsewhere. I know that was more historically common in history, but I just like clothes that are fairly loose and yet not so large and poofy that they get in the way. So for me, that has been the way that I have getting around not really knowing exactly how to tailor clothes that fit me, and then they do fit for a while, even if they aren't technically adjustable. I try to make them loose enough that they can accept weight fluctuation, but that depends on whether you prefer to have things that are more close-fitting or more loose-fitting. But that is one way that I have been getting around weight fluctuation. It's just that I, luckily for me, sort of prefer looser clothing. I've heard about the thermoregulation capacities of linen. Do you think it's due to the fiber itself or the weaving? Well, it's a lot of the fiber because, well, weaving helps too, but I mean, I think the fibers are hollow, aren't they? But it's Thermal regulation, all insulation is air, like wool as well. The reason wool is warm is because it's very fluffy and it traps air inside the fibers, and that air stands still, so that when wind is coming, in this case wool is not very resistant to wind because the air goes straight through and you get cold, then you need other fabrics. But one thing that I didn't learn until I was an adult is this thing that it's the air that is insulating you, not actually the fabric you're wearing, in a way, if that makes sense. So I would have this problem when I was a child and I had, old secondhand battered boots. It's one thing that feels like a luxury as an adult is having proper winter boots, because I never had as a kid, and my feet were always cold in winter when we were outside during recess in school, because in Norway, recess is meant to be had outside. You're not allowed to stay inside unless it is very, very cold, and that only happens a handful of times, maybe, not even during a year, less than that. So my feet were always cold, and I would try to combat this by, putting on more wool socks, hoping that would help. But actually that does the opposite, because by putting on more socks in a confined space, you squish those socks more together, and you end up with less air between your feet and the outside. So actually you get more cold instead of more warm. So what I have learned now is that proper winter boots are pretty thick, so that they have this layer of sort of air inside them, but also I generally buy them a size too large, so that you can fill them with wool insoles and wool socks, and they are still comfortably fitting. And then I actually stay nice and warm. So generally my winter boots are a little bit larger than my other boots, because it's the air that is insulating you, and that comes into whether a fiber is a good thermoregulator or not has a lot to do with how much air it traps between the fibers, and whether that trapped air stays there or whether it is easily replaced by other things. So most of the natural fibers does this, so especially big fluffy things, which is why nice fluffy wool shawls, when it isn't too windy, are really cozy even if they're thin. Pardon? But I'm not sure if that really answers your question about linen, but it has a lot to do with how the fiber works and how it is spun. Although the weaving helps, you can do certain weaves are warmer than others. Again, because it depends on how much air they trap. That helps with that kind of thing. But another reason why linen is such a good thermoregulator is that it's a plant fiber, so it loves water, so it'll absorb the sweat off your skin. And that can really help in keeping you cool, and you can also soak it and help you get cool that way, returning water moisture to your skin so that it can evaporate again and cool down your skin. So plant fibers are generally really good as an underlayer close to your skin as a thermoregulator, because they have that insulating effect, and because they really love water, so they will take the water from your skin, which is good in summer, so that the sweat is removed from your body, so you can sweat more, which helps you cool down. Whereas in winter, it helps remove the sweat from your body, so the water doesn't cool down on your skin and make you colder. If that makes sense. Smells actually got me a little whiteboard. Why didn't I bring that? Because I'm a bad live streamer, but maybe we'll have it next time. I'm not sure I could explain that better if I had illustrations, though, maybe. Now I'm so used to making my own clothes that I forget that I could also buy them if I run out of time. That's a good point. I kind of do that too, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is a thing that people do, and then I dread the process because I really don't like trying on clothes and going and looking at clothes. I just don't like it. It's not fun for me. I know it's a lot of fun for a lot of people, but I don't wanna. I would rather wear my old rags. I must away for a work meeting. Have a wonderful day. Well, have a wonderful day you too, Haley. I hope your meeting goes well. We shall finish up in just a moment as I'm finishing the end of my needle. And I feel like buying clothes has become so expensive, but for what you mean, yeah. And even if you can pay more, you won't necessarily get a better product. Yeah, I agree. Brands aren't necessarily that much better, but yeah, I think so too. That it's the clothes fall apart very easily. I notice this when we inherit clothes, that they will often start tearing at the seams pretty fast. even if we don't wash them too often and try to be careful with them, they just, the clothes really are worse than they were just 20-30 years ago. It's pretty interesting how much worse the fabrics are that they use. It's really sad. The thing I love about making my own clothes is that if I really like a garment, I can make it as many times as I want. Yes, it's one of the few that I actually... I have had a blouse that I really liked that I actually took a pattern of. I don't really have a lot of paper patterns because they take time to make and then they take up space in storage and I don't want to throw them away. But I have a few. I want to have a trouser pattern as well, but I do have a blouse pattern and a couple of like gores and waistbands and things like that. Like I have a little bit, but I like drafting on the fabric, which is a bit unhinged of me, but I kind of enjoy it. But I do want a trouser pattern that fits me at some point, ideally an adjustable one, but it does answer a lot. Oh, that is good. It's good that it was understandable, because sometimes I have to like dig deep to figure out like, what is that again? Like, how does that actually work? Oh, there you are. Is that the cave you found? But as exciting as it has been to be back after not being able to be here last week, I think it is time for us to wrap up. We do have a guest that I want to say hello to before I go to bed, and then we shall build more furniture, and then hopefully we shall have a workroom that I can show you and that we can share for many years to come, I think. But this has been really nice. If you're not in the Discord, we try to do a live stream once a week on around this time. So this is what we do. Maybe you could talk about silk in an episode. It's very interesting. Like, it's hard to use, but people still did it. That is true. I don't know a lot about silk though, because it's not my, purview. Is that the right word? Area of expertise. I do more of the local plant fibers that are actually grown in Scandinavia. So, but it would be interesting to learn more about silk. Although I do feel like that might be some place where a more Asian, Chinese expert might, maybe we should leave space for someone like that to come and tell us more about their culture and textile. I don't know. There are space for more people. But I also I'm curious, and in some ways, if no one else do it, I still want to have a look. But we shall see. So far, I try to do things in my local neighborhood. But would you like to say goodbye to the nice viewers on the... No? I don't have snacks, so it's not worth it. You're a good cat. Come on, darling. Oh, you are so cute. There we go. But this has been very nice. We made some headway on the shawl, and if all goes well, barring any problems, I shall see you again next week. I hope you have a good rest of the week, rest of the month, rest of the time, and I will see you all suddenly again. Bye.